Hey guys, it's Irish again. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install Arch Linux. Before I begin, though, I'm going to tell you a few disclaimers. One, uh, definitely read the beginner's guide. It is full of information that deals with what I'm going to show you, but it goes in much more depth. I would prefer you guys do read that alongside this video or any other install videos. The second thing is I'm going to do this differently than the other install videos on the internet for Arch Linux. One, I'm not going to do any of the virtual guest editions like anything else, like any of the other ones. I'm going to show you how I do it if I went to put Arch Linux, say, on this machine. So the first thing we need to do is go and open up Arch Linux. Now, if we go over to the download section, we can go to the torrent, or you could also click any one of these mirrors. You just pick your city and whatever mirror is closest. But if you are very strict on your, if you're really strict on your bandwidth, I would prefer you guys do the torrent. This actually is a dual ISO. That means you can get the 32-bit and also the 64-bit. So I have installed this. So if we open up VirtualBox, so in the last video I showed you how to install this under Fedora. So under, you want to click New, and then all you want to do is do Arch Linux, and it should show up right there. And then if you wanted to do a 32-bit or a 64, you can choose between that, but we're going to stick with 64-bit. So if we click Next, so we get to choose the size of RAM that we want. So I'm going to do 3 gigabytes, so it's roughly around 3,000 megabytes. So right there. Click Next. We do want to create a virtual hard drive. Create, and then we can just do virtual disk image, which I prefer on here. And then if you wanted a fixed size, you would just do that, but I'm just going to keep the defaults as dynamically allocated. And then for the hard drive size, I'm going to give it a little bit more, so I'm just going to do 50 gigabytes, and then you just hit create, and then you see it on the side. Just a few more steps before we open up Arch here. So you want to click Settings here. You want to go to your display and go up here, and then if you have multiple monitors, then you can just do however many you have. And then also same thing with processors. I have a 2-core process, but I'm just going to keep it to 1 just to show you that even with a 1 process, it still runs actually pretty smoothly. So if you want to, so under here, you can just get rid of floppy disk, CD drive, whatever. And then you click Storage, you go to the empty, and then you click this button right here, and then choose virtual DV CD disk file, and then you just go to where you saved it. So mine's right here. You click Open, you click OK, and then you can just start this up right here. So as this is booting up, the next thing you would want to get is the beginner's guide. This goes from the very beginning all the way to the end, and it explains everything that you need to do this. So we're just going to keep this up just in case, but I do have my own installation guide, and it's right here, and I will link this in the description below. It is from my Dropbox, so this goes to everything that we are going to do tonight in the next 3 videos actually. So as that is opened, the very first thing you want to do is to make sure that you have internet connection. So this will air out, but I'll show you what you need to do when you do it. So the very first thing I do is do Wi-Fi dash menu, and this will go out and get all the available interfaces, and then you just go onto it. But because I'm on a virtual machine, it automatically goes and does my the one that I'm on right now. So the next thing you want to do is make sure you ping. I like to just to do Google since it's there 24 hours a day. So just make sure that it pings just like that. And then just clear this out here. Next thing we want to do is to install our partitions that we're going to do. We're going to do 3 partitions. Now partitioning is very there's no one right way of doing it. If you would want, you can just install Ubuntu or whatever, any of the distros that automatically partitions, and that can give you a general gist, but this is what I do when I do it. So with a 50 gigabyte one, I'll show you what to do. So there are 3 different ways that you can partition this. So if we go back to the beginner's guide here, we could do CF disk, which is the one that I prefer. You can do F disk, which a lot of other videos out there do, and then there's G disk. So we're going to do CF disk in here. So we'll just minimize this. So CF disk. Now you'll have these different selections. The only 2 that you really need to look on is GBT is for UEFI disks. So if you want UEFI under Arch Linux, this is the one that you're going to want to do. But if you just have a regular old BIOS, I would do the DOS, which is for Microsoft DOS. So this was for like legacy boots. So we're going to click this, and then as you see, the size is 50 gigabytes, and it just shows the sectors, the start, and how much. So we're going to first do our root partition. So we're going to click new. Again, this is very iffy on how much you want, but I'm going to do 10 gigabytes and click yes, and make this a primary, and then also make this bootable. So as you see under the boot part of this, there's a star. That means it's just bootable. So you're going to go arrow down, and then we're going to do the swap. So I put 3 gigabytes in. So we're going to do 3 gigabytes primary, and then you can do a type, and it would be type 82 under Linux swap / Solaris. So you want to click that. You do not have to do that, by the way. It's just it may just make it easier on your side. And then for the rest of it will be our home partition. So we're going to do new, and then just do the rest of it, primary, and then we're just going to write this to the disk. So we're going to click yes, and then quit. So that's all we have to do for partitioning. The next thing we need to do is determine a file system. Now the most common one, and the one that on the Arch Wiki is suggested, is the extension 4, but you can do Btrfs, or you can do ZFS, or any other file systems that you want, but I would suggest do extension 4. So what we need to do is do that for the first, for the root, and for our home. So we're going to do mkfs.ex4, and that just is make file system dot extension 4, and then you're just going to do dev and then sda1, click yes, and then the same thing for sda3. So once that's done, we need to also create the swap file, if you have a swap file. So you're going to just do mk swap and then dev sda2, and then you're going to turn the swap on. So you just be swap on dev SDA2, and then we're good. So we're just going to clear this out. The next thing that we need to do is mount our root and our home. So we'll just do the first, we'll mount the root file. So it would be mount dev SDA1 / MNT for mount. So once that's done, we want to create our home partition, or our home part. So it would be mkdir for make directory, and then that would be MNT / home. So once that's done, we just mount the home partition to the one that we just did. So we just do mount / dev SDA3 / then MNT - home. So if you don't see any errors, then that means it's good. So the very next thing we need to do is get our mirror list. So we want to, you can either use V, Vim, or Nano. In the installation part, I'm a Nano person because it's just simpler that way, but I'm normally a Vim. So if we just do Nano etc pacman.d / mirror list. So as you can see, here's a whole bunch of mirrors that you can search through the country. So the very first one, I suggest doing roughly about maybe like 3 or 4, just to make sure that if one of these mirrors do fail, there's backups. So we just move the cursor underneath here. You're going to do Alt F6 and go back up to the beginning, and then Control U to paste that. And then you just want to do this for the next few mirror lists. So I will get back to you when this is done. So once that's done, I'm just going to do 3 mirrors just for the sake of this walkthrough. So once you're done with that, you're just going to do Control X, hit yes to save, and then click enter. So now that we have the mirror up and running, we're going to generate our pack strap. Now the pack strap is just the base system. So if we just do a pack strap and then space mount base, I would also do base devel, but I'm going to install the base devel components later. But if you want to install it here, then you just do base devel, and then that will get all the development parts. So we're just going to do base for right now. So you're just going to click enter, and then again this will bring up all of the initial packages that you need, and also sync up the repos that a base Arch installation needs. So once that's done, I will come back to you. So once that's done, it could range from a few minutes to 10 to 20 minutes, depending on the speed of your internet. The next thing we need to do is generate our fstab, which this just tells, if we go to here, you can read a little bit what the fstab is. Let me see here. It's just certain advantages to labels. So it just does the UUIDs, which are universally unique identifiers. So it just determines, identifies root, swap, and the home. So what we're going to do is going to generate the fstab. So what you need to type in here is just gen fstab dash capital U dash capital P and then MNT, and then you want to pipe that with 2 greater signs to the mnt/etsy/fstab. And then once that's done, you can take a look at it by just going into it. So nano mnt etsy/fstab. And then as you can see the difference. So SDA1 is my root, SDA3 is my home, and then SDA2 is my swap. So it does generate the correct way. So we'll just clear this out. So the next thing we are going to do is finally chroot into our Arch install. So what we're going to do is do arch dash chroot, then that /mnt. So once you see that, that means you are chrooted into your Arch installation. So the next thing we need to do is generate our local generation. This will help with our time and everything here. So we're just going to do a nano /etsy locale.gen. Now, since I'm in the United States, I'm going to be doing en_us.utf-8 and also the DE version of that. So if we just scroll down here, and then we should see a DE. We'll just do the ENs first. So we're going to do the EN here and also the ISO. Save this and then generate it. So to generate it, it would be local-gen. So once that's done, we can just see what the date and time say here. So it's not 2 o'clock in the morning, but it does generate the UTC time. To get the correct time zone, what we're going to do is do a symlink to the correct one. So we're going to do an ln-s, so it would be link and then sim, USR share zone info, and then I live in America, and then I live around the Chicagoland area, and then you're going to move that to the Etsy/local time. And once that's done, if you do a date, as you can see, it's 9:58, which it is correct, on Saturday, June 6th. So the next thing we're going to do is see which one. So if you are dual booting with Windows system, you want to sync your hard drive or your hard drive clock to either local time, or you can do the UTC time. But if you do the UTC time, if you switch back and forth, you'll see a time difference, which there is a way to fix. So if you are dual booting with Windows, I suggest do a local time, but since this is in a virtual machine, we'll just do a regular clock, a regular UTC time. Now if you want to know how to fix the time difference, Matthew Moore has a very good video on it. I will put a link to his video in the description below, and he shows you how to do it on the Windows side. But there is a way to do it on the Linux side, but it's just simpler on the Windows side. So if we do that, oh, I misspelled sys clock here, so it'll be SYS TOC. Sorry, TOHC. And then once that's done, so we're good. So next thing we need to do is generate our host name. So if we just do a echo, and then whatever your host name is, so I'm just going to put Irish Arch, and then we're going to pipe that to the Etsy/local hostname. So once, if you bring up a terminal, once everything's installed, it will say the username and then whatever the host name is going to be. So once that's done, we are going to install the initcpio. So this just installs the Linux stuff. So it'd be mkinitcpio-p and then Linux. So we'll just let this run for a little bit. It doesn't take too long. So once that's done, we can generate our password. So it'll just be PASSWD, and then you can create whatever password it's going to be. So that is your root password that you did create. The next thing is, if you are planning on using network, the Wi-Fi menu, there are a few packages that you need to install to get that running for the next part of the installation. So it'd be, let's go here, just be pacman-s, and then it would be grub. So this would be installing the grub, dialog, IW, and then WPA supplicant. And then once that's installed, we'll be able to install our grub menu. So that's installed. So the next thing we're going to do is install the grub menu. So it'd be grub-install. And then this dash you don't really need, but it just recheck. It just checks to make sure that everything has installed correctly, and then you're going to do it to the entire hard drive. So it'd be just SDA. So make sure that this installs correctly. So that is installed correctly. One of the last things we do is generate the config file for the grub. So it'd be grub-mkconfig-o, and then it's under the boot grub/grub.cfg. So that just shows that it has generated correctly. Now we are done being in the chroot, so we can just exit out here, and we are actually done with the base install. So we just have to unmount everything. So it'd be u mount for unmount, mnt. This is one way of doing it. I'm sure there's other ways, but I just do bracket home, then here, and then whatever you else had, like var or whatever. So that has uninstalled it. So if we just reboot, you'll see that the grub menu will come up as an Arch Linux. It should go here. So you just want to take out the installation medium. So we're going to just do that, and there, Arch Linux, and go here. And as you can see, it's just booting up here, and it does show your host name and then login. So you just be root, and then there you go. So that is all that it takes to install the base for Arch. So the very next video I will show you guys is the Xorg installation, also your sound. So if you want to do ALSA or Pulse Audio, that we're also going to create a user, and then generate get Yowert and everything else. So it's just next video is going to be packed with a lot of information. So I will see you guys in the next video.